So, this is an introduction on basics of internet technology. As nowadays we all are using internet, and so we are very much aware of this term, like what internet is. So, let me just brief you a little about internet. So, internet is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share information and communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. So let's just perform a simple activity of opening a website that we all do in our day-to-day life. So let's just open a website. So this is a website of The Hindu, and this is a web page which is embedded inside the website. So this is how a web page looks like. And we all know very well like how a website looks like and how a web page looks like. So, and this is the complete URL of the website through which we can access a website. And I will introduce you with each concepts associated with it in the later videos. So that's it about the internet. So in this video, we are going to see about the URL. So what is URL? URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. The web address which we entered in web browser is called URL or Uniform Resource Locator. It's a web address that specifies the location of a specific resource, such as a web page, image, or file on the internet. In simpler terms, a URL is the unique address you type into a web browser to access a particular website or online content. So, for example, let's take a URL of a website. Let's just take a URL. So this is a website of The Hindu, and this is the URL of this website. And so, do you know like what this HTTPS means and what this www and the Hindu and .com? What is this? So, do you know? So let's understand in detail like what these terms are. So HTTPS basically it's a protocol which we use to exchange our data between the server and the browser. So HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which ensures that any data transferred between the visitor and the website is secured and no hacker can modify this data. www stands for World Wide Web, and The Hindu is basically a domain name, which we can also say it as a website name. And .com is nothing but a domain suffix. And it is not necessary to have a domain suffix as .com only. We can have other domain suffix as well. So moving on to the next topic, and that is cyber spotting and domain name. So what is cyber spotting? Cybercriminals purchase a domain name that is confusingly similar to yours to deceive prospective customers. In this scenario, you have become a victim of cyber spotting, which is commonly known as domain squatting. So here you can see these domain names which are actually looking like the real ones, but they are not real. They are created by these cyber criminals. And what the cyber criminals do is they create a website like the original ones, which looks like the legitimate ones, but they are not. They are actually the fake websites. And when the user mistype the URL, and then he'll end up on the fake website which is created by the cyber criminals and potentially become victims of scams or cyber attacks. So that's it about the URL and cyber spotting. In the later videos, we see more about these technological terms related to internet technology. So with the continuation of the terms that are associated with internet technology, our first term is web browser. We all know like what a web browser is as we are using it to access anything, any website on the internet. So let's just quickly go through with the definition of a web browser. So the software which we use to enter the web address is called the browser. Web browsers are software applications that are used to access and view websites on the internet. They enable users to view web pages and interact with online content. There are many examples of web browsers, like here you can see in this image as well, Google Chrome, Opera Mini, Mozilla Firefox, and many more. So let's move on to the another topic which is very important under web browser is that is essential security settings of your browser. I believe many of you are not aware of like these security settings and which is very important to enhance security and experience safe browsing. So let me just introduce you with these options. So the first is HTTPS only mode. So let's just see how we can enable this option in our browser. So in your browser settings, what you have to do is under privacy and security, you just have to select this option security, under which you can see one option like always use secure connections, and then you have to enable this option, and then you are in HTTPS only mode. So the next option is content blocking and pop-up blocker. So how you can enable this? So under the privacy and security option only, you just have to go in the site settings, and there you can see pop-ups and redirects option. And if you want the sites that can send pop-ups and redirects, so you can enable this option if you want to allow them to send these such kind of pop-ups. So you can select this option, and if you don't want to allow the sites to send pop-ups, then you can select this option, don't allow. Okay. So the next option is privacy and tracking protection. So under privacy and tracking protection, uh, you have to just go in this only site setting options, and there you can like give permissions to the sites that like they can, if they can use your location. So you can enable like such options for them, like if they can enable they can use your locations, your like in cookies or as well. You, if you want to allow third party cookies to use like your data, like when you are accessing the websites, so you just only have to select this option to allow third party cookies. And if you don't want to allow the third party cookies to use your data, then you can block as well. And we can also like select the sites that are using our data and permissions. If you don't want the sites to use your data, then you can clear all cookies from there as well, and you can delete them from here as well. Okay. So the next option is browser updates and security patches. So you can find this in about Chrome, and there like these are the like when you click this option about Chrome, then if there are any updates, so it will your browser will automatically updates it, and then you have to relaunch your browser again. Okay. And the next option under this security setting is safe browsing and phishing protection. So for this, you just have to go in the same privacy and security, and under security, you just have to enhanced you have to select this option enhanced protection for the safe browsing. So with this, you can enhance your security inside your browser, and experience a safe browsing. So in this video, we are going to cover get and post request methods. So what are these get and post request methods are? Get and post methods are the HTTP request methods that are used inside the form tag to send form data to the server. So basically, both GET and POST are HTTP methods that are used in web applications to interact with the servers. Each has its own use cases and implications for security. So let's first see what is GET method. GET method is not secure to send sensitive information, as the information sent from an HTML form using GET method is visible to everyone in the browser's address bar. which means that all the variable names and their values will be displayed in the URL. So let's understand it better with an example. Let me show you an HTML form containing users data. So let's see an HTML form. Here you can see this is an HTML form created using get method. So which is asking to enter the username and password. So let me enter a random username and a password, and when I click on submit, let's see what happens. See, here you can see whatever I have entered in the username and password, it is clearly visible in the address bar. So that's why this method is not considered as a secure method to send any sensitive information. So what let's see what are its advantages and disadvantages. So advantages of using get method is get requests are always remain in the browser's history. But the disadvantage of using get method is only limited amount of data can be sent using get method. And the biggest disadvantage is it is not a secure method to send sensitive information. So moving on to the next method, that is post method. So what it is? So similar to get method, the post method is also used to submit an HTML form data. But the data that is submitted using the post method is secure. The information that we sent from an HTML form using post method is not visible to anyone, and thus it is secure. So let's see an example of it. So let me just show you here a form, an HTML form that is created using post method. So here I will enter the same, and when I click on submit, see, nothing is visible in the address bar. So that is the advantage of using post method. So it is said that when we have to send sensitive information using an HTML form or something, so in that case we should use post method. So that's it about get and post request methods. So let's see what are the security precautions we have to take care of when we use such kind of sensitive information or sensitive data in the URLs. So first, do not pass sensitive data in URLs. Be cautious with URLs, like do not click on suspicious or unfamiliar links as they could lead to malicious websites or phishing attempts. Verify website security, like look for HTTPS in the URL and a padlock icon in the browser's address bar before entering any information. Watch for phishing. Be cautious of websites that ask for sensitive information in the URL or in forms without proper security indicators. Clear your browsing history every time. Use private browsing when deal with GET requests. So these are some security precautions you have to take care of while sending any kind of sensitive data in the form of URLs or in the form data. Okay, so that's it. So in this video, we are going to see browser security settings. So many of you are aware of these security settings and you have already enabled it in your browser. But if you are not, so let me introduce you with this security settings so that you can enable it in your browser, and thus you can enhance security and experience safe browsing. Okay, so let's first see the first setting, that is cookies settings. So what are cookies? So cookies are small pieces of data that are stored on your computer by the websites you visit, and they can be used for various purposes including tracking and authentication. So how you can manage these cookies in your browser? So let me show you how you can manage them. So under the settings of your browser, select this privacy and security. Under this, select this third party cookies. So if you want the websites to use your data, then you can simply enable this option, allow third party cookies option. And if you does not want the websites to use your data, then you can simply enable this option, like block third party cookies. So here you can see, like sites can use cookies to improve your browsing experience, right? For example, to keep you signed in or to remember items in your shopping cart. But what if like if we visit any untrusted website, and if we have enabled this option, like allow third party cookies, so those websites can also use our data, and that is dangerous, right? if any website is untrusted, like how can we trust, like to allow them to use our data, right? So consider enabling this option, like block third party cookies option. So that is better, like none of the websites can use our data. Okay, so also we can see like whichever websites are using our data and permissions. Like in my browser, these many websites are using my data. You can see here like YouTube is using 20 cookies, and likewise many websites are there. So also we can see like whichever websites are using our data and permissions, right? And if you does not want if you want to clear all the existing cookies and site data, so you can also do that in this clear browsing data option. When you enable this cookies and other site data and click on this clear data, then all your existing cookies will be cleared. Okay, so let's moving on to the next setting, that is privacy settings. Okay, so what are the like privacy settings control how much information websites can collect about you. Like you can configure options related to cookies, cache, browsing history, autofill data, and more. Okay, so let's first see how you can enable these privacy secure, like what options that you can enable in privacy security privacy settings, right? So under this privacy and security only, like the cookies we have already seen, right? So what else we can do here is we can also like in privacy and security we can also clear our browsing history, right? That is also a kind of secure like private privacy. You can enhance your privacy, right, by clearing your browsing history every time. So that is good. That is also a good way to enhance privacy in your browser. And the next is that is autofill and passwords. Like what is autofill first, right? So let's first understand what is autofill. So autofill settings control like whether your browser saves and fills in form data like addresses and passwords. So like if it does not want to like remember passwords and remember the signing details every time, so we can allow the sites to manage our passwords whenever we sign in, so that we can easily sign in to the sites. So like here you can see many these many sites I have enabled to use like my passwords every time when I sign in. Okay, so you can add the sites from here to so that they if you want them to use your passwords every time you sign in. Okay, so you can also do this. And also one thing that is that you can do is in this only privacy and security, under this you can also enable this option that is already enabled in my browser, that is do not track option. So by enabling this option, you are essentially telling the websites and the advertisers that you do not want them to gather information about your browsing habits, such as the websites you visit, the pages you view, and the links you click. Okay, so consider enabling this option. Okay, so that's it about like these many settings. Like the other settings, the other types of settings, the rest of the settings we can see in the next video. Okay, in this video we'll see the other types of settings. So from JavaScript we have to start. So like what all things are there in JavaScript control settings. So like let's first see like where we can enable this JavaScript setting in our browser. So in the settings of your browser, and select this privacy and security, and under the site settings in the content block, here you can see this JavaScript setting. So you can configure how the browser handles JavaScript. Like while JavaScript enhances web functionality, but it can also be exploited for attacks. So like here you can see sites usually use JavaScript to display interactive features like video games or web forms. To consider disabling or limiting JavaScript on websites you don't trust. Like if you want the some websites to use JavaScript, then you can enable this option. Like sites can use JavaScript. So like if you do not trust any particular website, so you can customize the behavior, right? So you can add those websites you don't trust in this customized behavior and that are not allowed to use JavaScript. Okay. So moving on to the next type of setting, that is extensions and add-ons management. So be cautious when installing browser extensions and add-ons. Like only install those from reputable sources. as malicious extensions can compromise your browser's security. So from where you can manage your extensions like in your browser. So in the like this in your browser, select this more tools, and here you can see extensions options, right? So from here you can manage your extensions. Okay, so be careful while installing any kind of extension and or add-ons in your browser. Like install only from the reputable sources, and make sure like they are like uh well known and good like type of extension. Like if you install any malicious extensions, then that can definitely compromise your browser's security. Okay, so be careful while installing any kind of extension. So you can enable any kind of extensions if you have installed. So just be careful while installing the extensions, right? So moving on to the next type of setting, that is we have done with this do not track setting in the privacy settings only. So moving on to the next, that is safe browsing. Okay, so enable the safe browsing feature. That is a wonderful feature if your browser supports it. So you should must enable this option. Let's see in my browser where it is in this settings and privacy and security, and in this security, yeah, here you can see this safe browsing, and it is already enabled in my browser. Like in this you have to enable this enhanced protection, right? So here you can see multiple things are there, right? So if you enable this option, this feature checks websites against a list of known malicious sites and warns you if you are about to visit one. So isn't it wonderful feature that already warns us before we move to those websites? Okay, so it's a wonderful feature, like we should enable it in our browser. Okay, so that's it for this video. We'll see the other types of settings in the later on videos. So in this video, we are going to cover the other type of settings that were remaining. We'll start from geolocation settings. So what are geolocation settings? What all things are there in this geolocation settings is these settings control whether websites can access your physical location. Okay, so you will be prompted to allow or deny access when a site requests your location. So let's see where this setting is in present in your browser. So let me show you in the settings of your browser under this privacy and security. Here you will see this site settings option, and here in this location, see it is already enabled in my browser. Like sites can ask for your location. Okay, if you don't want the sites to even ask your location, so nothing will be prompted when you visit any websites. So you just have to enable this option, or if you want like sites can ask for your location, so you can enable this option, right? So moving on to the next type of setting, that is password management. So this we have already covered in this autofill part, but like little we'll see in this also. So password in the password manager, browsers often offer to save and autofill passwords, right? So like if you want any website to access your or manage your passwords, while filling any kind of form or anything, so like how you can enable this setting in your browser, let me show you. So in the settings, under this autofill and passwords, here you can see this Google Password Manager, and from here you can manage all the, like if you want any sites to use your password to if you don't want to remember or like all the sign in details of a particular website, so you can let the add you can add those websites in this autofill and password option, and all your passwords and data can automatically filled when you sign in on those on a particular website, right? So if you want to add any website, so you can add from here, right? And ensure like a strong password you take for any kind of website you are taking, okay, giving, right? So moving on to the next type of settings, and that is clear browsing data. Yes, we have already seen this all as well, like in previous videos. So how you can clear your browsing data, let me show you again. So here in the settings only, under this privacy and security, you here see this option, clear browsing data. So this option lets you delete your browsing history, cookies, cache files, and more that we can see here. Like you can clear all your browsing history, download history, cookies and other site data, cached images and files, and whatever you want to clear from your browser, so you can clear it from here. Okay, when you click on this option, clear data, all your existing histories, cookies, and all will be cleared. Okay, you just have to first enable like in this uh, check boxes. Okay, so moving on to the next, and that is insecure content warning. So, what is it? Like browsers often warn you about insecure content on websites that use HTTP instead of HTTPS. So, this warning is typically displayed in the address bar or a padlock icon. Okay, like if any website is not secure, it is using HTTP only. So, it will be displayed in your browser's address bar, like here. Okay, like that the connection is not secure, or like this kind of message is displayed in your browser, or like this in or in your address bar as well. Okay, so avoid entering sensitive information on such websites. So let me show you like where you can see this particular like setting is already like it is default in your browser. It is a default setting in your browser. It is already like here you can see in this site settings, and under this additional content settings, here you can see insecure content. This setting is already blocked by default on secure sites. Okay, these settings are already blocked by the secure sites. So like if you want any websites to add also, you can add it from here only. Okay, so moving on to the next, that autofill settings. Yes, this we have already covered in the previous videos. So the next is incognito window, right? So let me show you like where you will find this incognito window. So what is the advantage of using incognito mode? Here you can see this in new incognito window. So this feature allows you to browse privately with no browsing history, cookies or form data saved. Like here you can see Chrome won't save the following information like your browsing history, cookies and site data information, and it will by default also block third party cookies to use your data. Okay, so here you can browse privately. So it is a secure way to use like your if you want any if you don't want any things like any your browsing history, your cookies or whatever to like without enabling any kind of setting in your browser, so you can simply use this incognito mode. Okay, so that's it about these settings. So in this video, we will see how to do encryption. Like in the previous video, we have already seen what is encryption. So in this video, we will see how to perform encryption, and in that we will cover email encryption. So what is email encryption? Email encryption is a security measure that transforms the content of an email message into an unreadable format, making it accessible only to the authorized recipients with the corresponding decryption key. This ensures that sensitive information remains confidential during transmission, protecting it from unauthorized access or interception by malicious parties. So basically, the email encryption is a security measure that converts an email message into an unreadable format, which is making it accessible only to the authorized recipients. Like if a sender has sent some message through email, so only receiver can the authorized receiver can decrypt that message. Okay, and thereby it ensures that the sensitive information of the sender remains confidential throughout the transmission. Okay, so let's see how to perform encryption. So to encrypt emails in Gmail, you can use Gmail's built-in feature that is called confidential mode. However, Gmail to Gmail emails are end-to-end encrypted by default, but confidential mode adds an extra layer of protection. So let's compose a new email, and let's suppose I'm sending this mail to me only. Okay. So to send this message in a confidential mode, you have to click on this padlock icon, and then it will ask to set an expiration date or a passcode if desired. Okay, so let's set a expiry date of 1 day. Okay, and let's suppose we set the passcode as SMS passcode. Okay, so this mode allows you to send self-destructing messages and prevents recipients from forwarding or downloading them. Okay, so when I click on save and when I click on send, then it will ask to enter the phone number of the recipients, so as to verify their identity. Okay, so let's suppose I enter this phone number. Okay, so if you want to select the country code or anything else, so you can select that as well. Like if I select this as India. Okay, so it will not, like, this format of the provided phone number is incorrect. So let's check what is. Keep it and we'll add right here. So when I click on send, so this message is sent in a confidential mode with like encryption, and the receiver has to verify his identity to decrypt that message. Okay. So when I click on send, this mail is sent to the receiver, like, which is me only here. But this message is sent with an encrypted format, and the receiver can decrypt this message only with the verification of his identity. So that's it about email encryption.
Welcome back to Web Technology Core Concepts at Learning Journal. In the earlier session, I said a website is a collection of one or more web pages. So, a website could be as simple as a single HTML page, right? If you have a web page, you can create a website and run it on a local machine. However, no one else on the planet will be able to access your website until you take it to the internet, right? So let us talk about taking a website to the internet. I have this simple web page. This page is my website. It is not that great, but this is what I have. How can I take this website to the internet? What do I need? Just think about it. Tell me at least one logical thing. Yes, you are right. The first thing that I need is a computer with an internet connection. We all have such computers, but unfortunately that is not enough to make my website available over the internet. I need at least one more thing, that is a web server. I'm sure you're wondering with some questions. What is a web server and why do we need them? Let us try to understand the need for a web server, and then we will try to define a web server. Suppose I have a single page on my laptop. I saved it at the following location. Now I want to make it available to the internet. So I connected my laptop to the internet. As soon as I connected my laptop to the internet, my internet service provider will assign a unique IP address to my computer. On the other side, you are sitting somewhere on this planet with another computer. You also connected your machine to the internet. Technically, there is a connection between our computers, and both of them have two different unique IP addresses, right? You should be able to start a browser on your laptop and type my website's address. And there comes a series of problems. The first problem is this. What is the address of my website? Well, it could be the IP address of my laptop and the file name. Let us assume that the first problem is solved. Now you can type this address into web browser. The browser will look at the IP address. The IP address is like a telephone number. If the browser knows the IP address, it can send some data to the computer with that address, right? So the browser sends a request to my computer asking for the myfirstpage.html file. That request reaches my computer. And there comes the next problem. No one is there to listen to that request. It is same as a guest is knocking at my door, but there is no one in the house to listen and respond. So, we need a software that keeps listening and responding to such requests. That's what the web server is. So, at the fundamental level, we can think of a web server as a piece of software that listens and responds to the end users over the internet. It may not be the most appropriate definition for a web server, but this is what a web server means at a high level. So, the website works using a client-server model. In this model, as the name suggests, there are two actors, client and server. The client sends a request and the server returns an appropriate response. In case of our example, the browser is the client. It sends a request for the myfirstpage.html page. The web server is the server. It listens to the request and returns the myfirstpage.html page to the browser. Great. The example gives you a high-level idea of how a website works, and we also talked about the client-server architecture. We will talk a little more about a web server in an upcoming video. See you again in the next video. Thank you for watching Learning Journal. Keep learning and keep growing.
In this video, we will see about encryption. So I believe you all have heard this term encryption somewhere while using any mobile application or so. So what is encryption? Encryption is a powerful security technique that transforms data into a secure format. For example, while using WhatsApp, you might have seen at the top of your chat there is a text written, and that is messages and calls are end-to-end encrypted. Like in this image, you can see this type of message we see in our chat. So what do you understand with this end-to-end encrypted? So this end-to-end encrypted is a method of secure communication that prevents third parties from accessing data while it is transferred from one end system or device to the another. So basically this end-to-end encrypted is a method of secure communication that prevents any outsider or any third party from accessing the sender data which is transferred from the sender's device to the receiver's device. So moving on to the advantages of using encryption. So, so these are the advantages of encryption. The first is data security. Encryption protects sensitive information like personal data, financial details, and passwords from unauthorized access or theft. So with the help of encryption, our personal sensitive information is protected, like no one else can use our data without our consent, right? So the next is privacy. It safeguards individual privacy by ensuring that only authorized parties can decrypt and access personal data. So like if any sender has sent some message to the receiver, so it ensures that only the receiver can decrypt or read that message. So in this way, it ensures the privacy of the data. The next is confidentiality. Businesses and governments can maintain the confidentiality of sensitive information, trade secrets, and classified data. So basically, the confidentiality is the encryption ensures that it protects the sensitive information from unauthorized access. Okay. The next is data integrity. So in this data integrity, encryption helps verify the integrity of data by detecting any tampering or unauthorized changes. Like it ensures that during the transmission there is no change of data. So these are the advantages of encryption. So in the next video we'll see how to encrypt our data. Okay. So that's it about the introduction of encryption. In this video, I'm going to cover how to identify secure and non-secure website. So to identify secure websites, first we have to look for HTTPS in the URL of the website. Like secure websites have URLs that begin with HTTPS instead of HTTP. Here the S stands for secure, which is indicating data encryption. So let's check uh, like the URL of a website, like if that website is a secure website or not. So if I take, let's suppose this. So let's check the URL of this website, like if this is a secure website or not. So when I click on this address bar, so see, it is containing HTTPS instead of HTTP in the URL. So it means this website is a secure website. Okay. So moving on to the next point, that is check for a padlock icon. A padlock symbol in the address bar or next to the URL indicates a secure connection. So click on it to view the website security details. Okay, so let's check the padlock icon of this particular website, if it is a secure one or not. When I click on this padlock icon, see, you can see here connection is secure. It means this is a secure website. Okay, so let's see the another point, that is verify the website's SSL certificate. We have to click on the padlock icon to inspect the SSL certificate. Make sure it is issued by a reputable certificate authority and matches the website's domain. So let's check if this website has any kind of certificate or not. So when I click on this connection is secure, see, here it is written certificate is valid. It means it is a certified SSL certified website. Okay, you can also see which is issued to which, like we can match the domain name as well here. Okay, so it means this is a secure website. We can also see like the validity period of this website, like which is issued on the this much date and it will expire on this date. It means this is a secure website. The next point is look for secure or verified badges. Some websites display security badges from trusted organization confirming their legitimacy. Like in this website also we can see like this certificate is issued by a well-known like authority, certification authority. So it means this is a trusted website. So moving on to the next point, which is the last point, that is use a browser with built-in security features. Modern web browsers often warn you about insecure websites displaying a red warning icon or blocking access. So like if we are using a secure like a secure web browser and a well-known web browser, so it will warn you when we visit any kind of insecure websites. So it will give you a red warning, like you might have seen this warning, like this connection is not secure, or it will provide you a blocking access as well. So if you use a browser with this built-in security feature, that would be very easy for you to identify like which website is secure and which is not. So let's see the signs of trustworthy sites. Okay. So here you can see like this like with this help of this image, like verified ownership. We can like check, like we have already seen in that example. You can also check the secure URLs like HTTPS in the URLs, and the trusted seals like the ratings their website has. Okay, and if the website has provided its contact info or not, like है ना. So and you can also check for the privacy policies of the website and positive reviews. Okay, so all these signs are the signs of a trustworthy website. So in this way you can identify which website is secure and which is not. Okay, so that's it about how to identify secure website. In the next video we'll see how to identify non-secure websites or insecure websites. In this video, I'm going to cover how to identify insecure websites. In the previous video, I have already covered how to identify the secure websites. So in this video, we'll cover how to identify the insecure websites. So under this, the first is absence of HTTPS. Like if a website lacks HTTPS and only uses HTTP, it may not encrypt your data, making it less secure. So the first indication that we get to like identify insecure website is if a website is containing HTTPS or not. Like if a website is using HTTP in the URL, so it is not a secure website. So let's see the example of a non-secure website. Uh, See, the connection to this particular website is not secure. You are seeing this warning because this website does not support HTTPS. Okay, like if you are using a well-known web browser, so it will like warns you if you are visiting a non-secure website. You can also see in this address bar, not secure, it is written right when I click on this. So you can see this red line highlighted point, like your connection to the site is not secure. Okay, so this means it is a insecure website. So moving on to the next point, warning messages. Browsers may display warnings when you visit insecure websites, cautioning you about potential risk. So if you are visiting like any insecure website, so your browser may display warnings when you visit those websites. So like here we can see when the moment I enter the URL of this website, my browser has given me the warning that the connection to this particular website is not secure. Even though if I want to continue to visit this site, so I can do that too. But the my browser has warned me like to not to use this website as it is not a secure one. So moving on to the next point, that is poor website design or numerous pop-ups. Like if a website has a poor website design or has a number of pop-ups, so it means that website is not a secure one. Like if a website is having a low quality design, excessive ads and pop-ups, which can be a indicator of insecure or untrustworthy websites. Suspicious URLs. So be cautious of URLs with misspellings, extra characters, or unusual domains that mimic well-known websites. Sometimes we visit any website which is like copy of a legitimate website or a duplicate of a legitimate website. So they use misspelled words of the original websites or like contain extra characters from the original website domain name. Okay, so those websites are not the secure one. The next and the last point under this is research the website. Like look for reviews, ratings, and information from reputable sources to assess the website's credibility. Like for if you are visiting any kind of a website which is not known to you, like so first look for the reviews and ratings of those websites. Then you can visit to the website. Okay, so so these are the signs of unsecure websites, like unsecure connections, which I have already shown you right now. Like the connection is not secure, so that means this is an unsecure connection. Suspicious URLs which contain instead of HTTPS, it will contain HTTP. That means those websites are not the secure one. Like spam warnings and no contact information of those websites are provided. And unsolidated pop-ups, a large number of pop-ups will be appeared on your screen when you visit those websites, and the negative reviews. So these are the indications of the unsecure websites. So this is all about the how to identify the unsecure websites.
Next, we have secure email usage. A secure email is a type of email that uses encryption to protect the contents of an email from being read by unauthorized parties. This can be important for sending sensitive information such as financial data, medical record, or legal document. To ensure secure email usage, we should always use strong passwords that are difficult to guess, and we should always avoid using same password for multiple accounts. We should always use two-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security to our email account. We should always backup our data regularly in case of a breach or any other incident. We should always use a secure email service. A secure email service will use encryption to protect your email from being intercepted. Some of the popular secure email services include Proton Mail, PGP Mail, and etc. And lastly, be careful what you open and click on. Phishing emails are designed to trick you into opening attachments or clicking on links that contain malware. If you're not sure if an email is legitimate, do not open or click on any link. Next, we have fake email IDs. A fake email ID is an email address that is not associated with a real person or organization. It is often used to protect your privacy to avoid spam. A fake email ID protects your privacy. When you sign up for a website or a service using fake email ID, you can keep your real email ID hidden from the company. You can avoid spam. Spammers often use automated programs to collect email addresses from websites. By using a fake email ID, you can prevent your real email address from being added to the spam list. You can test new websites and services. If you are not sure about a website or a service, you can always use a fake email ID to sign up for it and try their service. Lastly, you can create a disposable email address. There are many websites that offer disposable email addresses. These email addresses are only valid for a short period of time. Now let's see how to create an fake email ID. We'll go to gorillamail.com. Here we have to write the name of our email ID. Let's just write test here. Test. We have to click on set. Then we can select a domain. We have many domain here. We can select any of it. Then we should click on scramble address, and then you can see we have an inbox, and we can use this email ID in every website in any case. Thank you. You might be aware of this kind of message. This is an example of a phishing attack. Phishing attacks are fraudulent emails, text messages, or phone calls and websites that are designed to trick users into downloading malware, sharing sensitive information or personal data like social security, credit card details, bank account numbers, or login credentials. Phishing can be of various types. We have bulk phishing, it is also known as spray and pray phishing. It involves sending out a large volume of generic phishing emails to a wide audience. These emails are not highly personalized and are designed to cast a wide net in the hope that some of the recipients will fall for the scam. Bulk phishing emails often contain generic subject lines and messages that may not be directly relevant to the recipients. You can see Microsoft's example. Now we have spear phishing. Spear phishing is a more targeted form of phishing. In spear phishing attacks, cybercriminals carefully research the victims to craft highly personalized and convincing messages. They might use information gathered from social media, professional networks, or other sources to make the email appear more legitimate. Here, the goal is to increase the chances of the victim falling for the scam due to personalized nature of the attack. We have bank example here. Next, we have business email compromise. Business email compromise (BEC) is a type of a cybercrime that exploits the use of email to defraud businesses. The scammer poses as a trusted figure and asks for a fake bill to be paid for sensitive data they can use in another scam. BC scams have exposed billions of dollars in potential losses. Criminal compromise legitimate business email account through various hacking schemes, including social engineering and use of malware. BC affects large global corporations, governments, and individuals, with current global daily losses estimated at approximately $8 million. Specific vulnerable sectors are real estate, finance, education, healthcare, and information technology. Next, we have SMS phishing. It is also known as smishing. It is a type of social engineering attack that target victims via SMS messaging rather than email. Cybercriminals use smishing to lure victims into revealing information or installing malware by disguising as a trustworthy organization or a reputable person in text message. You can see a link is here. It will use to fraud someone. Next, we have voice phishing. Voice phishing or phishing is a type of cyber attack that uses voice and telephony technologies to trick targeted individuals into revealing sensitive data to unauthorized entities. They say they are calling from financial institutions such as a credit card company, and there is a problem with the customer's account that requires immediate action. They offer a exciting opportunities such as interest-free credit card or a highly discounted merchandise. They announce that the victim has won a cash prize, but they need additional information for the victim to claim that prize. And lastly, we have social media phishing. Social media phishing refers to an attack executed through platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. Here, the purpose of such attack is to steal personal data or gain control of users' social media account. We have LinkedIn example. Do rapparigiri rapparoo, rapparigiri rapparoo. Next, we have VPN. A VPN or a virtual private network is a secure way to connect to the internet. It creates an encrypted tunnel between your device and a VPN server, which hides your IP address and encrypts your traffic. This makes it more difficult for the third parties to track your online activity or to steal your data. By connecting through a VPN, you can securely connect to a public Wi-Fi. When you connect to a public Wi-Fi network, your traffic is not encrypted. This means that anyone who is on the same network could potentially see what you are doing. A VPN can help you to protect your privacy and security when using public Wi-Fi. Bypassing geo-restriction. Some websites and content are only available in certain countries. A VPN can help you bypass these geo-restrictions by making it appear as if you are connecting from a different countries. Avoiding censorship. In some countries, the government censors the internet. A VPN can help you to bypass censorship by encrypting your traffic and routing it through server in another country. You can protect your privacy. A VPN can help you protect your privacy by hiding your IP address and encrypting your traffic. This makes it more difficult for third parties to track your online activity or steal your data. Now let's see how to enable a VPN. So I have Kaspersky VPN. So I'll click here to enable. It's connecting. Right now I am connected to the Germany server of the VPN. Now let's open Chrome. Now it's connecting. Now let's just search anything. The Hindu. As you can see, since I am connected to a German server, I am getting results in German languages. You can see here. It's showing in German language, Dutch. Now let's just close. This is about VPN. And the next topic is firewall. A firewall is a network device that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. A firewall typically establishes a barrier between a trusted network and an untrusted network, such as the internet. The main function of a firewall is to prevent unauthorized access to a network. This can be done by blocking traffic from unauthorized IP addresses or networks, or by blocking traffic that matches certain criteria, such as the type of traffic or the port number. Here are some of the benefits of using a firewall. It prevents unauthorized access to your network. A firewall can help you to prevent unauthorized users from accessing your network, either from the internet or from other networks within your organization. It protects you against malware. A firewall can help to protect your network against malware by blocking traffic from known malicious sources. It improves network performance. A firewall can help you improve network performance by filtering out unnecessary traffic. It reduces security risk. A firewall can help it to reduce security risks by providing a layer of protection between your network and outside world. Now let's see how to enable firewall. We have inbuilt firewall in Windows. So let's just open search firewall and network security protection. Here you can see firewall is on. Click if your firewall is not on, just click on here and it is loading. Let's just wait. You can click here to enable it. Similarly for the other two, you have to click on enable. That's how. That's it. Thank you. Now we have types of malware. Firstly, we have viruses. A virus usually comes from an attachment in an email that holds a virus payload or the part of the malware that performs a malicious action. Once the victim opens the file, the device is infected. We can see an example like if we are trying to play something, the recorder is saying that it doesn't support this kind of file. Next, we have worms. Worms have the ability to copy themselves from machine to machine, usually by exploiting some sort of security weakness in a software or operating system, and they don't require user interaction to function. Next, we have ransomware. It is one of the most profitable and popular types of malware against cyber criminals. This malware installs itself into victim machine, encrypts their file, and then turns around and demands a ransom to return the data to the user. You can see this kind of message pop-ups. Next we have Trojan. Trojans are harmless application tricking users into downloading and using them. Once up and running, they can steal personal data, crash a device, spy on activities, or even launch an attack. Next, we have scareware. Cybercriminals scare us into thinking that a computer or smartphones have become infected to convince victims to purchase a fake application, a typical scareware scam. You might see an alarming message while browsing the web says, "Warning, your computer is infected," or "You have a virus." Cybercriminals use these programs and unethical advertising practices to frighten users into purchasing rogue application. You can see this kind of pop-up. दीदी तुम सुनाना कैसा था लगा दूं ना
अबे दोबारा सुन तो ले खुद को
रागनी को भेज देता हूँ पूरा पूरा सुनेगी रिव्यू मिल जाएगा गुड
In this video, I am going to cover public Wi-Fi risks. So why is it so? Why public Wi-Fi are considered as a risk? So let's see. Public Wi-Fi networks, such as those which are found in coffee shops, airports, hotels, and other public places, can pose several risks to your online security and privacy. So here are some of the common risks which are associated with using public Wi-Fi. The first is man-in-the-middle attacks, which is MITM. In this, the attackers can intercept the communication between your device and the public Wi-Fi network, and they can eavesdrop on your data, capture sensitive information like login credentials, or even inject malicious content into the data stream. So what the attackers do is when we like use public Wi-Fi network, so they intercept the communication between our device and the public Wi-Fi network, and they can easily capture our sensitive information or our data, or even sometimes they can inject malicious content into the data stream, and by doing so they can easily capture our data for the malicious purposes. The next is unencrypted data. So what is unencrypted data? As we have already seen encryption, like or encrypted data. So what was encrypted data is like our data is converted into our plain data is converted into a secure format, right? So that was encrypted data, but in like public Wi-Fi networks, our data is those networks are not encrypted one. They do not encrypt our data, right? So many public Wi-Fi networks do not encrypt the data that is transmitted between your device and the networks. This means your data is sent in a plain text and can be easily intercepted by the hackers. So it is very easy for the hackers to intercept your or to capture your data as it is sent in a plain text when we are using any public Wi-Fi network, as they are not the secure networks, right? So moving on to the next points. The next is rogue hotspots. So cyber criminals can set up a rogue Wi-Fi hotspots with names similar to the legitimate networks. And when you connect to these fake hotspots, they can monitor your traffic and steal your information. So avoid using any kind of fake hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots, like which you seems to be similar to the legitimate networks, because they are monitored by the hackers and they can steal your information. The next is malware distribution. Public Wi-Fi networks can be used by attackers to distribute malware to connected devices. Malicious software can be downloaded to your device without your knowledge and compromise your security. So, what like public Wi-Fi networks can be used by the attackers for that malicious purposes. In that, like they distribute malware in various devices which are connected through their particular public Wi-Fi. So, without your knowledge, those malicious software can be automatically downloaded in your system, in your device, and they can compromise your security. The next is session hijacking. In this, attackers can hijack your active sessions on websites and services if you are connected to an unsecured public Wi-Fi network. And this allows them to gain unauthorized access to your accounts. The next is data snooping. In this, hackers may use packet sniffing tools to capture data packets that are traveling on the public network. Even if your data is encrypted, they may analyze traffic patterns to glean information about your online activities. In this, hackers may use packet sniffing tools to capture data packets that are traveling on the public Wi-Fi network. Even if your data is encrypted, they may analyze the traffic pattern, like in which pattern your data is transmitted, and they snoop the whole traffic pattern of your data and information about your online activities. So we'll cover the precautions of against the public Wi-Fi risks in the next video. Till uh, that's it about. In this video, I'm going to cover precautions against public Wi-Fi risks. So to protect yourself from the risks while using public Wi-Fi, consider taking the following precautions. First is use a virtual private network or VPN. So a VPN encrypts your internet connection, making it much more difficult for the hackers to intercept your data. And always use a reputable VPN service when connecting to public Wi-Fi. Next is choose a secure network. Like if possible, choose networks that require a password or have some form of security. Like open or unsecured networks are more vulnerable to attacks. The next is forget the network after use. Like once you have finished using a public Wi-Fi network, disconnect from it and remove it from your list of known networks. This prevents your device from automatically reconnecting in the future. Use cellular data. Like if you have a secure and unlimited data plan, then consider using your cellular data connection instead of public Wi-Fi for sensitive activities, basically. The last is beware of phishing. Like we have already seen what is phishing. So public Wi-Fi networks are prime targets for phishing attacks. So be cautious of any unexpected requests for personal information or login credentials. So that's it about the precautions against the public Wi-Fi risks. In this video, I'm going to cover social engineering. So what is social engineering? Social engineering is a technique where people or the attacker trick or manipulate others into revealing sensitive information or doing things they shouldn't, often for malicious purposes. It relies on psychological manipulation rather than technical hacks, using techniques like fake emails or impersonation to gain access to personal data or systems. So phishing is the most common type of social engineering attack. So here you can see this example as well. Like in this example, you can see this is a phishing email sent to the user or customer of a trusted bank in which he has his account. So in this mail, they have said like, dear valued customer of this trusted bank, we have received notice that you have recently attempted to withdraw the following amount from your checking account while in other another country, and about this much amount, and if this information is not correct, someone unknown may have access to your account. As a safety measure, please visit our website via the link below to verify your personal information. As soon as the user clicks on this link, he may land into the fake website, which is created by the hacker and which looks the same like the legitimate ones. So in this way, the hackers or the attackers trick the users into revealing their personal information and the login credentials for the malicious purposes. So that's it about social engineering.